everyone, welcome back. It has been a long week, but it's coming to an end. We are doing our fourth review in as many days. Welcome back, Campo.Reviews, the man who reviews movies, TV shows, wrestling, and anything else you could think of. He'll probably review it for you. His stuff will be down in the description down below. Make sure you go sub to his, sub to mine. If you love wrestling content, make sure you sub because we're putting a lot out there and we're working hard for you. So make sure you give us a sub. So guys, today we are doing the AEW's All Out. So we're bookending this week of reviews with All In and All Out. And in between this week, CM Punk got fired, which we mentioned the other day. There's more to it now. There was a little jab at it in the show. I don't know if you saw it.
I didn't.
Okay, so I'll bring it up when I come up to it. Once again, I'll always ask you, did you watch the 0 Hour? And I'm guessing you did. Hangman Page winning the budget battle royal or whatever.
Okay, so let's talk about it. What was the other match?
There was Shida, Nightingale, and Sky Blue against Athena, Mercedes Martinez, Diamante, and the Acclaimed against Jarrett, Singh, and Jay Lethal.
Entertainment-wise, this is one of the best 0 hours we've ever had. In-ring work questionable. I really thought the battle royale was fun. I'm sure if Putty watched it, he would have not liked it.
But the Battle Royale, it's a lot of people we haven't seen in a while. So it was good to see everybody. Like, you know what I mean?
AEW always just has a fun time with the Battle Royales.
Yeah.
So.
Like, where has Jack Hager been? Like, we haven't seen Jake Hager in forever.
Yeah, he's missing his hat, too.
So he won't come out on TV, right? But I mean, yeah, it was, for what it was, the Battle Royal was fun. Like, Battle Royals are always fun.
By the way, we forgot a guy.
Which guy?
When we talked about the secondary 4 pillars, we forgot about Daniel Garcia, which technically makes 5.
Yes, but Daniel Garcia was never considered part of those 4 pillars. He's one of those.
But neither was Ricky Starks, really.
No, but Ricky Starks is not a homegrown talent. Daniel Garcia is, but even though Daniel Garcia came from the world of MMA, right? So,
all right, we're allowing it.
We're allowing it. But Hangman Page won. I mean, he needed something, so they gave him this.
Yeah, that's fine.
Fine by me. I don't care. It keeps Page relevant. See, this is something you could do in a pre-show and keeping your talent relevant.
They also, no one noticed this, use this to put a Hangman over in Chicago where they don't like him because of CM Punk, and it worked.
Yes,
because Chicago charity.
And
it was for kids, so they had no choice but to cheer.
Yeah, and in the next match, you'll see it too, because Sky Blue, a Chicago native, was decked out in the Chicago colors, decked out in the Chicago flag. Like, what I didn't understand about
wear whatever she wants.
What I was confused about this was Athena beat Mercedes Martinez for the championship, beat Diamante in a title match, and beat Billy Starks in a title match.
And treated Billy Starks like a freaking piece of poop.
Garbage.
But now they're like best friends.
This did not make any sense to me.
But I get the rest of it because they were kind of just, it felt like, it didn't feel like they were a team. It felt like they were told that they had to do this.
Yeah.
So they kind of treated each other like that throughout the match, where it was like, I don't want to work with you.
Because I think they're building Sky Blue to go against Athena, right? For the next ROH.
Yeah, but I don't think you could do that. Now, I didn't think of that before. I didn't feel that way before, but when you really watch, she's not ready to be a champion.
No.
Billy Starks is leagues ahead of her.
She's also much younger. But Billy Starks is also hurt, though.
Yeah, which is, I get, they're just trying to give her exposure.
Yeah, which is fine.
Sheeta's always good. Willow Nightingale's always good.
Yeah. And it puts Sky Blue in that situation with 3-4 people with all that experience. It gives you that exposure to go with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You need to keep giving Athena pay-per-view type event stuff to do.
Yeah. Sky Blue gets the win.
Yeah, I mean, it's 0 hour
and it's Chicago, so they got to give. They're really doing a lot to make the crowd happy and forget about CM Punk.
It's so funny because I saw somebody saying, I can't remember what it was. Oh, when they got Dennis Rodman, who's in the next thing.
Yeah,
they're a big page was posting in jabbing. I get it if you want to poke fun at companies, but you're not really poking fun. You're being serious because you have a deep rooted not dislike for this specific company for some reason. You could just say that out loud. I don't like when people have passive aggressive hate towards things because it doesn't make sense to me. I tell you, I don't like WWE. I mean, I still watch it, but it's their whole thing was, Tony Khan spent all his money and time getting Dennis Rodman to come in to try and to make people forget that he fired CM Punk. Like, no, he's doing a show in Chicago, so he's trying to do everything.
Dennis Rodman to get this, a Chicago legend.
He's related to wrestling. Like, he already has ties to wrestling. Mind you, we do think this.
Yes,
but I do feel like he was already gonna be there. I don't feel like this is like a last minute thing.
But I also thought this is what not to take away from WCW.
Yeah, especially because at one point towards the end of the match, this is the pre-show, so who cares?
Yeah.
They win.
The guitar spot.
He hit him with the guitar, then he refused to drop the guitar, and they kept trying to like knock it out of his hand.
Refused to drop the guitar, refused to get out of the ring.
Yeah, he just stood in the corner.
With all the guitar shrapnel everywhere, and Aubrey Edwards is like, all right, I guess nothing happened here.
But she couldn't do anything, right? Because what are you gonna do? He clearly either he was on something or he just was so desperate to be there and he wasn't listening. Like, I don't remember which one of them it was. Billy Gunn tells him to drop the guitar, and he doesn't. And then Anthony Bowens or Max Caster comes in and like tries to like knock it out of his hand, and he won't let it go.
Yeah, that's why you see kind of Anthony Bowens like standing in front of him as the ref's looking over.
Yeah, but
they're trying everything. I mean, they tried.
0 hour.
So yeah, nobody's gonna really say too much. And it was a nice short pre-show, only 3 matches, nothing
entertaining.
It was entertaining, and that's all I ask. That's all I ask. So with that, we're going to get to the main show proper. We are having our first match, an ROH World Tag Team Championship match of Better Than You, Baby, against the Dark Order. Right away, we knew the Dark Order was not winning this.
Yeah, obviously, it was a bad move to even have them in this match. No offense, because we both know that I like Alex Reynolds. John Silver's also like a fan favorite. They wrestled a good match. I'm very disappointed by this for the fact that they, for like the 7th time in the last year and a half, told the one tag team guy gets injured and then comes back out thing in AEW, not in wrestling, just in AEW.
Yeah, and they'd like to do that a lot. Yeah, they like
just
to do
did
that.
It with Penta a week ago.
Yes,
literally a week ago.
Yep.
No more.
No, stop, please.
Because it doesn't build up anything for me. If you left him hurt and Adam Cole had to overcome this, I get it. But you didn't.
Or what if you had, like, if he stayed hurt and Roderick Strong comes in to help him, or something?
You could have had something like that, but it would have
told a better story. Yeah,
and the match was kind of long.
Yeah.
But
they were good. I mean, Alex Reynolds,
it wasn't a bad match.
No, but Reynolds and Silver held their own against them. Like, they're clearly not, like, they're good wrestlers. They're just not main event wrestlers.
They're trying to put them over as a heel faction, and they thought this is what they're gonna do because they're turning them heel now.
Yeah. But it didn't work. They're gonna love John Silver and they're gonna love the Dark Order.
But I mean, I get it. It's fine. And my big issue with this match was if you're gonna have a match that's this long, and you got to at least have some kind of story, but there's no backstory relationship between this match. It just existed. And normally I don't care about that. That's fine. But when you're going through a whole match and there's no type of storytelling at all, except the MJF thing, it threw me off.
Yeah.
And then, but I did like,
and you're not even a storyteller. You're not even telling us.
No, that's what I know.
Yeah.
Usually, but it's just like,
going back to what you were saying, that Samoa Joe thing, that was the jab at CM Punk. Yeah. If you notice, that's that's the backstage incident. Supposedly that happened. MJF bumps into Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe keeps walking, goes and attacks CM Punk, or goes and attacks Samoa Joe, and Joe puts him in the chokehold. That's that's like, you know what I mean?
Okay. But that's also a reference to Samoa Joe when he was the NXT champion and he used to walk around in the hallways and push people out of the way.
And MJF was one of his security guards.
Yeah, and it shows you that clip. I mean, if you look online, you could see it.
You could see it. But I thought it was more as the jab too.
No, you're right. I know that's why I didn't catch it, because I was thinking the other thing. But now that you're saying that, and it's in Chicago too. But I like that because it added this, like, you couldn't do anything to Samoa Joe. He'll crush you.
Yeah. And if MJF faces Joe for the championship, Joe will eat him alive.
And I thought that was crazy smart because you made Samoa Joe look so badass. And then you added this element that, like, he could beat you for your title, but he doesn't want that title because he's doing his thing. So you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, exactly. I'm the longest reigning television champion. Don't mess with me, kind of thing.
It's adding to the Cole See, but it's weird that you did this. This is the storytelling after the match. It's
Yeah.
adding an element where it's like MJF is not listening to Cole. Like, you need to smarten up and stop acting like an idiot.
Like a hothead. Exactly. Well, they do go over. I mean, we missed that part, but they do go over. Clearly,
they're not going to lose yet.
Yeah. So we'll go right into the next match. Again, Samoa Joe versus Shane Taylor, a guy I haven't seen in months.
I mean, I've seen him here and there when I would dabble on Ring
ROH.
of Honor.
Yeah, but it's like still like there were so many other names in this tournament that why Shane Taylor?
Listen, I'll be honest with you. Just wrestling fan in general, I saw the card for the show and I was super disappointed. This is one of the worst cards AEW has ever put on.
The problem was there was no build. There was no build because you go from a pay-per-view. Yeah, you go from a pay-per-view week to a pay-per-view week, and it's like, and you throw in that whole CM Punk thing in the middle too. That probably threw a wrench in your plans too.
Yeah, I think they either need to
like the Danielson spot was supposed to be CM Punk.
Yeah, for sure it was. But I'm not upset about that either.
No. And that was when we get to it, that was smart too. But let's continue on with this match. Joe just crushes Shane Taylor. Like he crushes him 6.5 minutes. Like,
and it makes him look really good. And I think it's smart because Shane Taylor's not a bitch.
Yeah. He's not, but again, this is something where Joe's gonna win. It's a predictable outcome.
Yeah. But it also adds this, like, oh, you look at this big ass guy he just beat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Shane Taylor can go.
Yeah.
But the problem is in Ring of Honor, they really only have that one secondary title, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, there's so many people that are in that mid-tier class for Ring of Honor. There's very few top.
And the funny thing is that title is being defended more times than Claudio has defended the world championship.
Yeah.
Most people even forgot that Claudio's a champion.
I think that what they should do is as soon as they get whatever they're trying to do out of Samoa Joe, let him lose the title to like
and just destroy Claudio
and take the world title, because he's wrestling so much more often, because Claudio's involved in these other storylines that make him not have to defend the belt,
which we'll get to a little later. One storyline that we're both absolutely tired of, but we'll get to it when we get to it. Samoa Joe crushes, he retains.
Fine we'll go match. It's fine.
For what it was good. Next we go into our next match. Luchasaurus defending Christian Cage's TNT championship against Darby Allin with Nick Wayne in his corner.
I did not like this match.
No. And Cage is one of the best heels out there. It still wasn't.
I think Luchasaurus looks really good. He's progressed a bit. He looks a lot more beastie when he wrestles. Like, it's a lot more power stuff. But Darby Allin just dropped the greatest hits. And I watched you wrestle like 4 weeks in a row now.
Yeah.
And without the gimmick of having the coffin,
was just a typical Darby Allin match.
Yeah.
Luchasaurus goes over clearly. Again, this was a little bit more believable, but then again, how's Darby Allin going to defeat this monster, right? Without Sting in his corner.
And I don't need Darby Allin to win the TNT title again. It doesn't do anything for anyone.
Darby Allin needs to move up a tier. Darby Allin needs to move into the international championship tier.
Yeah. Or just move out. Or make him and Nick Wayne a tag team and let them wrestle for the tag titles.
But Nick Wayne is already the East-West connection.
Yeah, but doesn't count here. Make him a trios with Sting and Nick Wayne, and then have them win the trios titles, right? Something like that.
Something different, yeah.
He needs to get out of the TNT picture. It's not.
Yeah, he's gonna be stuck there forever.
I also don't want to see him be the champion again.
Yeah. Just like Wardlow. Where's Wardlow? I don't want to see him be the champion again, but where's Wardlow?
I don't know. I don't even know if I want Wardlow to come back.
There's talks Wardlow's going to be jumping soon.
If he's not doing it with all the quality wrestlers here and the ability to do whatever he wants, when he has to do streamline wrestling, he's just going to be another Jonah. It's just going to be a snooze fest.
Yeah. Oh, can you imagine that Wardlow Baron Corbin feud now?
Oh, that's what's going to happen.
Or Wardlow Corbin. Miz for sure. Wardlow Miz.
Happy Wardlow and Happy Corbin. They're going to be a team.
With that, Luchasaurus retains. We'll go into our next match, and it's Miro versus Powerhouse Hobbs. When was the last time we saw Miro or Hobbs?
I saw Miro like 2 weeks ago on Collision
But I mean, on a
pay-per-view. I don't remember.
yeah,
Miro like last year.
yeah, if not longer. See, that's the thing. They got so much talent, and they don't know what to do with it, but yet they keep putting out those same guys.
Listen, I think the argument that was being made against AEW was they don't know what to do with it, but like this year they've started to really figure out what to do with people, but then they get to the pay-per-views and it's like they shoot themselves in the foot.
Right. Like, for
Because
example, like a match, like I said, a match we're going to get into later tonight, which is why are they doing this again on a pay-per-view?
this match felt fun in a way, I guess, because it's two big guys slapping meat, which everyone
Yeah.
was enjoying.
Was it a big
yelling.
meaty men slapping meat?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
they just kept yelling, slap that meat, and they were having such a good time. But like realistically,
This got the crowd hot. Yeah.
It's got the crowd
in a good way.
so hot. And for the spot that we're at in the card, they should be dying out right now.
Yeah,
but
because
they're
this
not.
is about the halfway point. Yeah.
And they're not. And my issue was at the end of the match, like not what happened at the end of the match, but we get to the end of the match and
Miro goes over.
I wasn't satisfied by this match. Like, yes, there was some really good spots for two big guys showing some athleticism, but they were gassed at one point.
Yeah,
see how they were fighting.
They went 16 minutes. Miro is not meant to go 16 minutes.
Powerhouse Hobbs is not meant to go past 3 minutes.
They're supposed to be they just crush each other, and it's like I would have rather had after a 5-minute do a double count out because they can't go on.
Yeah, and okay, it's like it wasn't like this is kind of reflects to yesterday's review of the WWE. It wasn't necessarily a bad match, but it got boring. If the crowd wasn't so hot, I would have been out of it. But the crowd keeping me watching them chop each other, but you could see them just like running out of energy. They're like,
yeah. They were completely conned by the end of the match.
Yeah.
Miro goes over. Hobbs goes to do the Predator handshake with Miro, and he turns on him because Hobbs is a heel. And we get go ahead, Campo.
His wife comes out, whatever the hell her name is. Who gives a shit? It made no sense. She looked like she was the guy
blonde number 7. Yeah,
she looked like she was dressed like the lead singer of oh my god, why can't I think of the name? The song where he's like, "This is not my house."
She came. Yes,
in that big box
Talking
suit.
Heads there.
Talking Heads. Yeah, she looked like she was wearing a giant box suit. I was like,
Byrne.
I first when she came on, listen, I know this is the dumbest thing to be bothered by, but I was like, I couldn't understand in my head, it couldn't process what she was wearing.
It was David Byrne is the guy's name. Yeah,
I was like,
with the booty shorts.
It was like shorts in a short suit, a sparkly short suit that was a big box. And I was like, what the hell are you wearing? And then she takes her shoes off and then she runs into the ring
with a chair.
And she hits him with the chair. And then Miro picks up the chair, hits Powerhouse Hobbs with the chair. And then Miro walks away from his wife.
And he looks at her like, what the hell are you doing here? Like, kind of thing.
I just didn't. It made no sense.
No.
And I don't care what angle you're coming at this from later. This doesn't change what happened now and that it made no sense.
Yeah.
And that she looked like a stupid idiot. Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. It's fine because it was. This would have made more sense if they're taking Miro away from that Redeemer character and just having him be this, like how they used to do in WWE, Rusev Crush, right? And then just like crush everybody. Like if she started him with that, that's fine. But it's the fact that she came out after the fact. She should have been with him before the match and built up to it.
It felt odd, right? And it's like, I don't know. This was a very, 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 very weird pay-per-view.
Yeah, it was. Like I said, no build, right? They didn't have any build. So with that, we're going to get into our next match. We're going to go for the AEW TBS Championship, Chris Sandlander against Ruby Soho. Again, Ruby Soho actually didn't.
Ruby Soho on offense was amazing.
Yes.
On offense. Amazing. She's still, I don't want to say still because I haven't seen her consistently enough to like point out things, but she struggles with taking moves. Like she kind of like she'll get hit and then she takes like a hop step and then like falls.
Maybe struggling and selling a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. But then like Chris Statlander was not believable anything she did.
No. And I also put down in my notes, I hate Saraya so much.
Yeah, listen, I don't know, maybe it's just because I keep seeing her so often now. I'm starting to find her attractive in the face only, but I'm also realizing that it's just a lot of makeup, and I don't know why I'm talking about this right now, but I
You're
am.
starting to sound like Putty.
But like I can't, she literally looks like a fake, like her body is so fake that it's
Hmm.
actually disturbing. Like it's like, you know how like China all of a sudden became like literally completely plastic, like
Yeah.
every part of her body was fake. That's like how Soraya looks right now.
Yeah. I just can't stand her. I don't like her character. I never liked her
She's so
character.
annoying. She keeps screaming.
Yeah, there's only one person that can scream, and rest in peace, Daphne. You were the only one that could do that. But
Screamer.
right, but like, I don't know. There's something about Sarai that just rubs me the wrong way, and I honestly thought this was the spot for Chris to lose the belt.
Yeah,
I
well, we
honestly
talked
did.
about that
Yeah,
and it didn't happen. And when they come out, they talk about how Ruby has never won a belt ever.
yeah.
And I was like,
But the
didn't she
match
win a
was
belt?
going. No, she hasn't. I think she may have won the tag team belts in WWE, but that doesn't count.
True.
But then we get to a weird spot. The match was good up until this spot. Tony Storm comes out from under the ring, but she comes out from the wrong spot. She comes out beside Saraya, and Saraya had to walk to the other side of the ring so Tony can run to the other side of the ring.
Well, I saw that too, and I wasn't super bothered by that because she started running one way and then realized if I go this way, she's gonna see me, and she went back the other way. Um, but it they're like I understand. Okay, I just watched Collision. They
Mm-hmm.
were together.
Mm-hmm.
The three of them were together.
Mm-hmm.
So somebody explained to me, or maybe it was on Dynamite, I don't remember, but somebody needs to explain to me where I'm missing this link where all of a sudden Tony Storm is now not trying to be part of the group anymore, and now
Yeah, she took
she's the
this.
one that wants to be out of the group.
She took the spray paint out of Ruby's hand.
Which okay, so the mentioning of the belt thing and then the
Mm-hmm.
spray paint coming out, I was like, oh, she's gonna win. JD's right. This makes sense.
Yeah,
I don't like it because like I told you, I really like Chris Statlander. I've been a fan
yeah.
since when I started watching, but
She's
like
got a
there's
good
just
look about her. She
yeah,
can
her
wrestle if.
physique is like exactly what you want from a women's champion.
Mm-hmm.
But she's
There's something missing there.
yeah,
I don't know what
she's
it is, but
it's
there's something
Raquelish.
missing. Yeah,
It's like she has the look, the size, but then she when in the ring, there's just something missing. Cause like she'll connect some really good offense in a
yeah,
row, and then all of a sudden it's like she forgot what she's doing.
yeah.
Like there was a move where they climbed on the ropes where she kept missing her footing, and then Ruby Soho had to climb up herself to get on the top of the thing.
To show her what to do, basically. Yeah. But I mean, it was like I said, I was fine with it until the finish. The finish to me made no sense.
Yeah, it's like once again, just it was fine.
Yeah. I think
It
that's a
went
theme for the
too
week.
long.
Fine.
Yeah, the last 2 days have just been like too long. Matches are too long, and they're just okay.
Yeah. So with that, we go into our next match. Chris Statlander, like I said, retains. We are going to Bryan Danielson against Ricky Starks. What I liked about the build, even though they had the 1 day build, what I like what they did was this was supposed to be Ricky Starks against CM Punk, from what I understand. I could be wrong, but what they did was I can't remember if they did it on Collision or if they did it on
Collision.
Dynamite. It was Collision, right? He goes, "You said you wanted to face a dragon, and I'm known as Ricky the Dragon, but you're going to face a different dragon, and you're going to face the American Dragon."
Yeah, on the contract it said Ricky Starks versus the Dragon,
Yeah,
and Ricky Starks addresses the CM Punk thing that he was supposed to face CM Punk, and he was really excited, and now he's not going to get to, and then he puts over Big Bill for being
yeah,
clean, and like I watched that and I thought it was a really well done
yeah. It was a
segment.
done segment, well done segment, like you said. But yeah, and it was good. It was like, I mean, Bryan Danielson, this is his first match since getting hurt at Forbidden
This
Door.
is like a thing, right? This is a match where I don't need a story to tell me that you're gonna have Ricky Starks get put over and you're gonna have a good quality match because
Mm-hmm.
Bryan Danielson's there.
Yeah. The only thing I don't understand is at this point, I was wondering, is Danielson still with the BCC? Because the BCC are full on heels, and Bryan Danielson was clearly a babyface in this situation.
I don't think he's out of it, but I think if they're gonna start telling a storyline where he's gonna leave, and maybe they're gonna pair him up with somebody else that they have beef with, and it's gonna to be like a back and forth,
Okay.
which will lead to a Moxley match where
Yeah.
whatever happens tonight at the end, then that will transfer over to Bryan Danielson.
We can always, yeah, that could be a possibility. That could be quite the possibility, actually, because yeah, we'll talk about it when we get to it. But this was a really good match, and usually I'm not a fan of these strap type matches, but the way they used it was really, really good. Ricky Starks has come such a long way in the last year.
Yeah, and I'm gonna give him so much credit for the fact that I don't want to say he went off script, but Bryan Danielson was really fucking giving it to him.
And you know what? He was giving it right back.
He was, and he took it like a champ. Like you could see there was times where he got hit and he's making a face like, you asshole, you actually hit me like in the face
when he hit him in the ear, with the strap.
And then there was the one where he was hanging upside down in the Tree of Woe and he missed him and it hit him right in the face.
Yeah.
But I got to give him credit because he knew what this match was going to mean for his career. And sometimes it's like Japanese wrestling. Sometimes you fighting a Masawa, you're going to take a few punches in the face, but you just remember that who you're fighting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like Kenny and Takeshita, which we'll talk about later, but it's kind of just this recognition of I'm in this scenario and people are going to remember this, like Becky Lynch and Trish Stratus the other night, right?
They're going to remember that.
They're going to remember this. You know, sometimes you got to take a little bit of a beating, but if you want to put on that special match, you got to do it.
Or if, CM Punk and Kojima, sometimes you got to take an elbow in the dick, right?
Right. Sometimes you got to blade if you're Kevin Owens and then take the heat backstage, but know that you're going to put this match over.
Yeah. But it's true though. Like and that's the thing too. Danielson wins, but Starks never tapped out.
No, and that they did a Stone Cold angle.
Yeah. And
I'm okay with it.
And I'm fine with that. Like, and Danielson can now come
around. He shouldn't beat Bryan Danielson.
No, but he shouldn't lose to him either. He passed out. He went toe to toe with Danielson and stood his ground.
We're gonna get it back. We're gonna get it back.
Yeah. But this was one of my favorite matches on the show.
Yeah, this was a really good match.
Yeah.
At this point, we're finally talking good matches. This was my downer thing. At least in the WWE pay-per-view, which we did last night, go check it out. It starts off hot.
Yes.
Here, it was kind of like, it wasn't that the matches were bad, but it's like, you don't know why you're watching what you're watching.
Yeah. The feuds made no sense. There was no rhyme or reason to the feuds.
Yeah, and it's just, you're like, but you could tell that they're trying to build things for TV. Like they're using the pay-per-view to build TV feuds.
Yeah, and eventually, hopefully, it'll come to fruition. So Danielson goes over. Fantastic match. Next, we get the Blackpool Combat Club against Eddie Kingston and Shibata, Claudio and Wheeler Yuta. How many times are we going to get Claudio and Eddie Kingston on pay-per-view?
I mean, I don't really care if Claudio's there. Like, I know you're a big Claudio guy.
I love
together.
Yeah,
I get it.
And I like Eddie Kingston too, but I'm just tired of this feud. No.
Eddie Kingston is a guy that I learned to appreciate in certain situations, but I don't think he's a pay-per-view guy, and I don't get why.
No, he's a pre-card guy.
Yeah,
he's a 0-hour guy.
Yeah, and it's fine. You can use him in feuds on TV. He can be part of these group events, but he doesn't need to constantly be on every pay-per-view. And Claudio was starting for me to get really stale.
Yeah,
and they're overusing him. He's so oversaturated, and the problem is none of those things are him defending the Ring of Honor belt like we talked about. So when we actually get him defending it, do I care anymore?
Because like his matches his next defense is going to be against Eddie Kingston. His next match is against Eddie Kingston. You know that. And know that. And Eddie Kingston, they're going to double belt Kingston.
Yeah, hopefully not. Digressing from that point.
Mm-hmm.
I think everything that involves Shibata was amazing.
Yeah.
Like, and you know what? I'm not just saying that. Like, every time he was part of it, he was amazing. But I don't know if you noticed this or if it's just me. Maybe he got hurt or something. There was a nice chunk of the match where you don't even see Shibata.
No, he was off the TV I think he was getting tended to.
Like, you didn't even see him. He was just gone. Which I thought was weird. And then the match ended so abruptly. As soon as Shibata came back, the match just ended. And I don't want to say it was a botch because Eddie Kingston did that like, I kicked out at 4 thing.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's no way that ended this match.
No, because there was another close call like that earlier in the match and it didn't end. So I don't know. Maybe the referee didn't counted a little too quick. I don't know what happened, but yeah, it ended abruptly. Claudio gets the win. So definitely this feud is continuing.
Yeah, unfortunately for
This feud,
everyone.
yeah. And the thing is too, we've seen also so many iterations of Shibata and Yuta, which I'd rather watch that right now than
I agree. I think Wheeler Yuta is so much more I don't want to say entertaining, but he's so much more like intriguing as a
yeah, as a
wrestling
character.
product
Mm-hmm.
than another really good guy you can consider one of the secondary
Pillars.
And like he's just so his in-ring work is so good and he's
Yeah.
so smooth and he'll do anything.
Yeah.
You will want him to jump into broken glass?
He'll
Okay.
do it.
You want him
Yeah,
to
no
wrestle
problem.
a pure wrestling match? Okay.
Yeah.
You want to do trios? You want to do cage
You
matches?
want to
Like
do submission? No
you
problem.
want to put him against Kenny Omega? Sure, why not? It's like you can do that with him.
Well, great segue there because our next match is Kenny Omega against Konosuke Takeshita.
By the way, that match wasn't bad.
No, it wasn't. It's just
But
I'm
I don't
tired of
want
the
that
feud.
story anymore.
Exactly. I'm tired of the feud. But Kenny Omega comes out in his DDT trunks.
Yeah. Kenny Omega. I mean, Takeshita is I guess a really special guy.
Yeah. That was one like when they cherry picked that talent from he was with MLW, wasn't he?
No, DDT.
DDT, yeah. That's why Omega came out with the DDT trunks. Like they knew what they were. They knew they had something special with Takeshita. They got him like he had a few matches with them while he was still with DDT.
Yeah, because Kenny knew, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they even had Jun Akiyama come over and endorse it.
Yes.
Which I thought that was like really cool. When he did the stuff, he did a match with him and he came out with him, and then he did the match with Eddie Kingston. But it's really good. I think they knew what they were getting. Kenny knew it, right? Because Kenny was when Kenny was in DDT, they talk about how old he was. I think he was 17.
Yeah, he just started out. Yeah.
And Kenny knew he was gonna be special.
Yeah.
So you brought him here. There's a reason for this, and now you're doing the job for him.
Yeah, and the fact that you paired him up with Don Callis is just like so smart.
It is.
It's so smart because now Don Callis is his mouthpiece. So Takeshita is that silent killer now. He doesn't have to say anything because Don Callis says whatever needs to be said, and Takeshita can back it up.
Listen, and honestly, this has to be added to match of the year.
Oh yeah.
And I think now we're in quite a predicament because we have 3 Kenny matches and 3 Will Ospreay matches, and 2 of them are against each other.
Yes.
But I genuinely think this match was amazing. This is gonna get 5 stars plus from.
This was definitely my match of the night.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give a really close second to the strap match. I thought that was really entertaining.
Yeah. But in terms of like a wrestling match, this was.
I know. Well, it's no Yapapi strap match, but yeah, it's still pretty good, right?
Yapapi.
The Yapapi strap match. Anyways.
But yeah, and Konosuke Takeshita goes over, which is so good. Like Kenny Omega knows what he's doing by
some of these spots were so good. There was I don't know,
attempted one wing angel off the top,
and then they did some kind of avalanche. The avalanche freaking blue thunder bomb. Are you crazy? That was amazing. And Kenny landed on his leg. He landed on Takeshita's leg. You also had the spot with the that he caught him with the screwdriver. I love that. Because it's always like, oh, the referees don't catch anything. No, he caught it concealed in his hand.
But like, can we talk about how close Callis came to Kenny Omega when he stabbed the ring with the screwdriver?
It's like there was really good chemistry here. You could tell this was good. There was a really awesome belly to back. I don't know if it was a German, and Kenny landed on his head.
It's kind of like that wheelbarrow belly to back where he grabbed him by the legs and he
Kenny landed like right on his head. But this is what people don't notice. Like, Kenny loves doing gnarly neck spots. That's like his whole thing. When they started showing the replay on the first one, you're like, holy shit, that's crazy. That was like the Tiger Driver 91 on his head. But you watch the replay and you could see he rolled himself into his shoulder. He knew he was doing that. That was not like
so his shoulders always
that wasn't a botch.
The shoulders
that was a
always take
planned next
yeah.
spot.
Yeah. So he wrestles smart. He knows what he's doing. That's why, like, I mean, when
Takeshita also took a
a
freaking
nasty,
head to the ground. Holy
yeah,
crap.
that was pretty
But there
nasty
were
too.
some great knees in this.
Yes.
It was just a really, this is how you put on a match with storytelling. There was such a back and forth and
Mhm.
like an emotional swell that led to like this finale that was
And
so
then when
like
the near
story
falls come, it's like they're all believable. Like it was very much like that Kenny Osprey match where it was like, here's a near fall, here's a near fall, here's a near fall, here's an
Yeah.
like it's
I
believable.
I would love to see Takeshita versus Will Ospreay. I want to see Takeshita versus I you know what I want, and you might not like be on board, Okada and Takeshita. I think that
It would be a good match.
when you match up their styles, they're very similar.
Yeah.
And they're both big guys. And
yeah.
That's
they have a similar build.
How do you put over a Japanese wrestler right now more than letting him beat? Well, you let him fight Tanahashi, but you let him.
But I don't even think that holds much sway anymore.
It doesn't, but that's like a joke. That's the right. We know
that's the running
for
joke.
everyone out there. But yeah, Okada, if Takeshita versus Okada, if Okada put him over,
say next year at Forbidden Door.
Well, give me Kiyomiya versus Takeshita. I'll take that any day.
Yeah, I'd take that too. So going on to our next match, Takeshita goes over, which is the right move. Kenny Omega does the job for him, which is great for Kenny Omega.
And didn't look bad doing it.
No, but at this point in his career, it's not going to hurt Kenny Omega. And they're telling the story now that Kenny Omega can't win a match without Don Callis.
Yeah. But also Kenny has looked amazing in every match, which adds to it. And like we talked about in the last one where we referenced this one, the last review, the use of what would have been the Avalanche One-Winged Angel is like the pulling out of the Tiger Driver 91 or the Burning Hammer, where it's like, I had to go to the next level to win this match.
Whereas we missed last night's on our review, we missed that Seth Rollins pulled out the Rainmaker on Nakamura.
Yeah, you know what? He did actually pull out a few attempts there.
Yeah.
I don't know. Did someone attempt a Destino?
It was Nakamura attempted to no. Rollins was pulling out all the New Japan stuff, like all his big rivals. So he attempted the Destino. He attempted the Rainmaker. He even did the high five flow.
Yeah, he did.
They called it a frog.
How did we not catch it? How did we not talk about? We caught it.
They called it about it. Yeah, he called it the frogs. They called it a frog splash. But it was a high five flow.
Yeah, they just can't say it.
Yeah. But with that, we're going to go into our next match. This was another fantastic match. Bullet Club Gold and basically all four members, because the Guns really are part of the BCG, against FTR and the Young Bucks.
Okay, it was a really good match with 8 good wrestlers.
The Guns are really growing on me.
The story that they're telling at all, because I don't see the logic
story between FTR and the Bucks
all the way through, because there was no beef between BCG and these 4 guys, really, because you blew off the FTR versus BCG thing. And now you were trying to start a beef between Young Bucks and FTR, but now they're a team together against this other team that there was no tension at all, and now there is. And it came to a pay-per-view, and now
I think this is them going into panic mode, and at the next pay-per-view, White and Juice are winning the belts off of FTR because they don't know what's going to happen.
I'll take it.
With
I think
Cash
you know what
right now.
You know what you might be absolutely right, and they might do it in a safe way and get a 4-team match, and we're not going to know who the 4th team is all the way till the end. Like, it's going to be Bucks, FTR, and Bullet Club Gold, and then we're not going to find out who the 4th team
Christian
is. Maybe, who knows?
The Hardys.
It could be the Hardys. It could be Aussie Open.
It could be Buddy Matthews and Brody King.
Could go a few ways at this point, and I'm not upset by it.
Yeah, I'll take it. It'll be a good match regardless.
Yeah, maybe you bring in Bishamon or something just to hold the spot.
Just to have him there. Yeah, hey, we need a transitional champion. Bishamon, what are you doing?
But you never know, right? Like, it gives exposure to New Japan. They're not going to be offended by that.
Yeah, kind of like what Sonata's doing on this run with Impact right now, right?
Exactly.
But like I said, this was a good match for what it was. Like you said, it just doesn't make too much sense for FTR and the Bucks to be together after what happened last week, even though they just said, oh, that was just a misunderstanding. No, you clearly did not want to shake their hand and walked out of the ring.
Yeah. And it's like, oh, I don't know why I just thought of this, but I'll say it before I forget. I don't know if you saw the vignette for LFI.
Mm-hmm.
They're clearly going to let LFI win the trios titles.
Oh, yeah.
Like that's what's coming. Anyway, sorry, I went way off topic.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree with you, and it's an odd situation. A good match, but it put me off because I just didn't understand why anything was happening.
Yeah. It was like, this was like the story last night. It was fine. It just didn't have any rhyme or reason to
This
it.
was a bit better than fine.
But
I think the balance of it kind of took it down a little bit.
Yeah, like I said, there was no build for anything.
Yeah, the 4 sharpshooters in the ring, that was pretty awesome. Jay White is just really good. I was really upset the way they were using him when he first got over.
Yeah, but him being back with Juice, I think if they are going to give him the belts, like Juice and Jay the belts, I think.
And their intro that they do, the guns intro now with the camera that goes around, is so nasty. Like, I love that. It's like, it's their own thing, right? It's like, I love the Dalton Castle entrance with the peacock thing in his hand and then spinning the camera around. Like, I love that stuff.
Yeah, and it adds a little bit more interaction to the show.
And it makes you have something specific that's special about you.
Yeah.
And that entrance is just different than everyone else's.
Yeah. So, but BCC, Jay White gets the win after a failed attempt on the Shatter Machine.
Jay White has been getting the win lately.
Yeah, and that's what leads me to believe I think BCG is going to be beating FTR for the belts.
Mm-hmm. I think there's a plan down the road to have a feud between Kenny and Jay. I don't know when that's going to happen.
So what I said on Monday night, they announced it right after this match. They are coming back in October with a brand new pay-per-view called Wrestle Dream. Did they steal this name from Stardom?
That's the Japanesest name I've ever heard.
Yep. So
you know what my Wrestle Dream is? That this event is a Noah AEW crossover. That's my Wrestle Dream.
Noah and Stardom. So this way you get the men and the women.
Yeah, that could be what this event is. Like, the reason it's called Wrestle Dream is because it will be your dream matches. It's going to be people coming from other companies to have like big match. That's like the only reason I can think of why you would call it that.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. With that, we go into our main event: Orange Cassidy against Jon Moxley. What you said has come true.
I told you there. And you want to know why? I thought about it more, and I figured out why
Cassidy
they want to do this.
Is hurt.
Cassidy
needs time off.
They didn't play to the injury, which is what bothered me the most.
Because they've been playing to the injury before
the whole time for like months, and now you're not. That's not why he lost. I thought there was,
because the loss to Moxley, they want to make him look a little stronger, so they made him lose clean.
The match work was good, nothing special, but I think the story that was told in the ring was really good.
Mm-hmm.
I think the character work was really good, and I understand the reasoning behind this, because I think what they want to do, like we were talking about, is either Moxley wins, by the way.
Yeah.
I think they want to eventually lead to a breakup of BCC and have Danielson versus Moxley for this belt.
And give Danielson some gold too.
Yeah,
and Moxley at this point, that's just clout to pad his Wikipedia.
But I do think the reason for Moxley having the belt right now is because, I don't know if you noticed this, when Pac had the belt, he was all over the place wrestling. Orange Cassidy never left North America once.
Yeah.
I think the plan is to send Moxley over to Japan to have a bunch of matches there for that belt.
Yeah.
Because he already has good connections with New Japan. Like, he's good with them, right?
We can get like a Mox Desperado match. We can get him.
You could do a few things over there that would work. You know,
Mox,
have him fight Yujiro.
Ishii. Yeah. There's so many things you can do in Japan. Yeah, that makes the most sense. All in all, though, this was, I even said to a friend of mine, this All In was greater than All Out. All In was much better.
Oh, I would like to get All Out of watching this, because it wasn't anything special.
Yeah. So for you, what would you rate this show?
A really, really flat 7.
And I'm rating it the exact same rating I gave Payback last night, a 6.9.
I think I wouldn't necessarily want to be like, this was worth your money, but like when I my only comparison is to last night's review, I would rather have watched this because the bang for my buck was there was way more here. Yes, there was 2 really good matches the night before, 2.5. Here there was like 3.5. Plus, I got all the other stuff, even if it wasn't that good.
In the same time frame, almost they had double the amount of matches.
And I think that makes it more worth my money. And
I want people to understand. Let me go 1 point higher. I'll go the same as you. I'll give it a 7.
I want people out there to understand my reasoning for this rating this higher is literally just because I would have rather you spend your money to watch this than that.
Yeah, it makes the most sense. Like it had more matches, there was more content, there was a lot more stuff that was enjoyable. It's like we said, though, the reason I'm taking points away too is the fact that there was no build for any of the matches. Like you said, when I first saw the card, it's like, where are these feuds coming from? Where are they?
A 7 is a good score.
Yeah,
but
we always preface that.
Of it, it's kind of just it's because
we also set the bar very high.
Yeah, it's very top heavy. Like there are good matches, but the rest of it is all just fine.
Yeah.
A lot of this stuff was just stuff you could have seen on TV. Like the Chris Statlander match was a main event on Rampage, not even on one of the big shows.
Yeah. This was a really good episode of Dynamite.
Oh, like a top tier. This is like a Grand Slam. This was like a Grand Slam.
Yeah, top tier episode of Dynamite.
You know, and it is what it is. And I think when you look at the way we've rated it, just if people don't feel fair, because of how the way that we talk about certain things, we've given almost all the AEWs like low 7s, where I've given almost every WWE event a 7.5 or higher.
Yeah, or higher. Yeah, we've been, and the NXT too, we've given some pretty high scores this year too.
It is what it is. I think Payback was the worst WWE pay-per-view of the year so far.
After night 2, well, night 2 and night 1 kind of work together, right?
It's like a balanced score.
Yeah.
And I gave night 2 a 7.5, I think. So it wasn't even that bad.
It wasn't even that bad. Yeah.
Last year's night 2 was like a 6.
Yeah, that one was bad. But yeah, like I said, everything's been pretty average. Like our scores range from the 6.5s to the 7.5s right now. You're gonna get your outliers like night 1 of Wrestle Kingdom, your Forbidden Doors, your all-ins, which we gave a really high score to,
WrestleMania
right?
night 1, Ring of Honor, Death Before Dishonor, Impact had one really good one.
The Rebellion pay-per-view,
Stardom had a banger. Noah had like 2 bangers.
Sakura Genesis, no, Sakura Genesis, New Japan, but yes.
Yeah, but Noah had 2 bangers
Majestic,
too. Majestic and New Year's, right? Didn't we give New Year's
the New Year's Dash? No, Evil.
I don't remember what it's called.
No, it was Evil? No, the Noah show we gave a 7.5.
We named every single wrong New Year's thing.
Yeah.
There's 2 Noah ones that I rated high.
Yes. So, but yeah, let us know if you've watched any of the pay-per-views over the last couple weeks, any of the premium live events. Let us know in the comments below which of these 4 you enjoyed the most. Remember to have that bell notification turned on so you know when we drop a brand new wrestling review. Follow me on Instagram, follow me in the Discord server. Every time there's a new video, we drop it there too, so you can just click the link and find the video. With that out of the way, guys, thanks again for joining us, and in the words of Kenny Omega, goodbye and good night.